And for more on the conference, we're now joined by our correspondent, Sarah Kimani. Sarah, a very good afternoon to you. Well, it was the last day of the conference today. Do tell us what transpired today.
Well, today discussions have centered around coming up with a common resolution on some of the issues that were discussed here. There were 20 issues that were being discussed. There were issues on the ocean. There were issues on climate change. There were issues on the use of lead paint in some countries that are still using paint that is laced with lead. And so the meeting called here, as we speak now, is yet to reach a resolution. The executive director of UNEP, Achim Steiner, just spoke to the media, and he is saying that negotiations are still underway. He says because some of these issues are very political and legally binding, then it takes time. And up to now, he says there is no agreement that has been reached. He says agreement has been reached on some issues, but on others, they're still negotiating.
Let's talk about those negotiations, Sarah. I mean, you've just said that there was no agreements, but was there any resolutions that were taken going forward, and how will these then be affected?
The meeting is still underway. What we expect is that by the end of the day, they're talking about 7 p.m. Kenyan time, they should be able to release a statement, probably giving an indication of the resolutions that have been reached. And they're also saying, however, that it is possible that the resolutions may not be reached during this UNEP 2, and what we will get is probably a ministerial statement, and they will have to move over to UNEP 3, where some of these issues will be taken forward.
Sarah, very quickly before I let you go now, I mean, you spoke earlier on about deep political issues that have been cited. As we celebrate Africa Month, the call for African solutions for Africa intensifies. Speak to these. Was there any direct mention of how this theory would be then become a reality?
Yes, indeed, the African Union was sitting, a representative from the African Union, Peace to Musime, was sitting in one of the sessions, a very important session for the continent, on how to end illegal trade in wildlife and wildlife products. And they launched a campaign which includes, among others, top African footballer Yaya Toure, where they will be talking about sensitizing not just Africans but other people on the need to reduce demand for wildlife products and wildlife. But they're also saying that what has happened now is that African countries are collaborating to be able to fight poaching, to be able to fight it as a transnational crime jointly. Because they said what happens is one country cannot be able to do it. And it is one of the issues that also South Africa's Minister for Environment, Edna, Molewa, has spoken about, and said that issue will be carried forward to cites in Johannesburg in September, where African countries will actually have meetings before the main meeting in September, so they can speak with one voice and they can come to a compromise on how to go about the issues that will be on the table.
Thank you so much for that update. We'll definitely check in with our reporter there, Sarah Kimani, who's live to us from Nairobi in Kenya, on some of the resolutions that have been reached.